I said that we saw murder last week.
Mm-hmm.
We saw murder this week. Iowa beats
Again.
Minnesota again, 41-3. I picked the wrong week to talk about Drake Lindsay on one of my shows that he's an underrated quarterback. He goes 16 of 28, 109 yards, three interceptions in this one. I was very, very frustrated with Minnesota's performance. I know PJ Fleck and the Minnesota fans were probably 10 times more frustrated than I was, but you really have to give all the credit really to this Iowa team and what they were able to do. They were able to come out, get special teams touchdowns, get defensive touchdowns, have a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the first half. This was a really, really special performance for Iowa. Not just that it's in a rivalry game, but also you have a bye week and then you get Oregon at home. And Zach, you best believe Kinnick is gonna be rocking against Oregon in that one. I don't know what time it is, but I really, really hope that is a night game because that is going to be some really good TV to watch between those two teams. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But Zach, your thoughts on this game and what was most impressive about Iowa for you?
I'd like to delay the retirement tour of Kirk Ferentz for at least a year. 3 phases. We've been talking about this all season. Iowa with an offense, and people are saying it in the chat. If you have an offense that you can rely on with Iowa, you become potentially one of the best teams in the country because their defense has been good to great consistently. Their special teams has been good or great consistently. Their offense has been just terrible. They were not terrible yesterday. And like Minnesota is they're a decent team. I don't want to say they're good. I don't want to say they're certainly not great, but they are decent. And they made Minnesota, like they did to Minnesota what Ohio State did to Minnesota. And that's right after doing what they did to Wisconsin. And then, they come back to beat Penn State at home. I know people say, well, Penn State's not good. Penn State still got talent. Like that really matters. And they came back, they won the game. Gronowski led them on a game-winning drive. And so to me, the big lesson is Iowa needs to be taken seriously, not just as a threat to other teams, but as a playoff threat.
Yeah, I mean they need to be taken seriously by the national media. Totally.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about them when we get to the AP poll and kind of the second half of the show. But my gosh, like I don't know how you can watch this Iowa team right now. You just watched them completely dismantle Wisconsin, which yes, it's Wisconsin, but still they scored more points and shut out Wisconsin than Ohio State scored. Now I know transitive properties are not exactly a thing, but still, like with Ohio State being as dominant as they have been this season, Iowa doing what they did is still very, very impressive and still speaks volumes about this team. Coming back to this game, them to be able to do this to Minnesota after Minnesota just trounced Nebraska. Sorry, Nebraska fans, but still, like after what they just did to Nebraska, coming into this game and just completely tearing apart Minnesota, it's huge. They are in a really good place right now. The schedule is pretty difficult to end the season. You have Oregon at USC, at Nebraska. I think they have Michigan State in there as well. So those are all 3 pretty difficult games in there. But this is still a team that is rocking and rolling at this point. I really wish they would not have lost that Iowa State game to begin the year. If they had not, I would have liked their chances a whole lot more. But still, you can't count this team out for a possible playoff opportunity here. By the way, thank you, Matt. He says Iowa, Oregon can't be a night game. Big Ten only allows 5 night games per year. Iowa is already at 5. I remembered that rule. I did not remember that Iowa already had 5 night games. So thank you for filling that in.
I would almost bet it's going to be Big Noon.
Gosh, I hope not.
Yeah. Also, Philip, I said I'm delaying it. You don't have to BS me on that. I delayed it. It's rescheduled. I'm not done. It's just not going to be this year.
All right. So my most impressive thing about the game, and I think it's been misconstrued, some of my thoughts on the passing game for Iowa. I think some people have come into this thinking like, well, JR thinks that Mark Gronowski needs to come out here and pass for 250 yards and 3 touchdown passes. I've never been on that spectrum of it. What I have been is thinking that you need a big pass play opportunity to be able to move out some of these safeties and help your run game start a little bit more. They had that with Dayton Howard early on in the season a little bit. I think he had a big catch in one of their games. I think it was the Rutgers game actually. And so you've seen glimpses of this. But with Reece Vander coming back now, that was a really nice throw by Mark Gronowski to hit him in the end zone. I believe it was a 29-yard touchdown reception there. Really nice throw from Mark Gronowski. Really good catch from Reece Vander to be able to adjust with the ball in the air. It wasn't like he had to adjust because it was a bad throw. He just adjusted because he was closer to the sideline and made sure he got the reception there. So touchdown pass from him. That's the kind of stuff we need to be able to see from Iowa, knowing that that is something reliably that can happen, or not even just reliably happen every game, but the threat of it is there, right? So that way you can't just bring your safeties up to the line of scrimmage and completely take everything away. Love to see that from Mark Gronowski. You still have some concerns with him holding the ball a little bit too much and some of that stuff, but overall, really good game from him, the rushing, everything else. As long as he doesn't get hurt, as long as he doesn't take too many hits to where he's not able to throw the ball, I feel really good about this Iowa team to finish out the year. And I would say, oh boy, should I go out on a limb here?
Do it.
9 wins at least for Iowa this season.
Okay, I don't know if that's. Hold on.
If they play like this, like I said, remember my caveat. If Mark Gronowski does not get hurt and he continues to throw like this, 9 wins for Iowa. Or more.
I don't know how much of it. Well, yeah, no, it's not an easy schedule.
You're the one that was just talking about him as a playoff team.
Well, no. I was about to say.
Are you going to get to the playoffs with 8 wins, Zack?
No. I was going to say, I don't know if 9 wins is a limb. Because I think Iowa's really good. Okay. If they play like this. But I was looking at their schedule.
Your thought there. I like your thought there.
Yeah. But I was looking at their schedule. I'm like, I think 9, especially 10 is a limb, but I would think 9 wins is a limb too, because it's at Nebraska, at USC. Those are not easy games. Home against Oregon.
I think they'll beat Nebraska at Nebraska. I feel pretty confident in that, unless Nebraska starts looking really, really good again, then I might rethink that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But who knows? This Oregon team could just completely take care of them, and I'm like back to good Iowa, but not an elite team.
Yeah.
Which again, good Iowa is not a bad thing. We're just talking about being able to step up the ladder here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm saying it's a limb. I was thinking 9 wins is not a limb, but I get Nebraska and USC probably does not match up on the lines, but both can hurt you in different ways. They have more explosive capabilities, and that would give me pause to say, well, Iowa's definitely going to win those games. And then Oregon's another beast, but
yeah, but they match up with Oregon on the line of scrimmage.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I think that's
and their skill players look better than we thought at the beginning of the season, especially with Reece Vander in there now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And their DBs, I mean, I think Iowa has the advantage at DB over Oregon with their wide receivers. Oregon has some really good wide receivers, but a lot of them are young.
Yep.
Right? I mean, Corian Moore is pretty young. He's really talented, but he's still a true freshman. Gary Bryant Jr., like him, but he makes some mistakes here and there.
Yeah. I think,
Iowa DBs are really good, man.
Yeah, they've proven me wrong in many ways this season.